So, Jad started coding when he was 15. And at 19, he started his first company, eTobb. eTobb currently is a successful and leading platform on e-health. It connects professionals to health professionals to patients all over the Arab world. It's an Arabic platform. And you guys, it makes us all look bad that he started his first company at 19 and he's pretty much rocking it. But was he born coding? I mean, let's figure things out. Jad, big round of applause for this guy.
Hi, thanks Aisha for the introduction. So, as she mentioned, I started learning development when I was 14 to 15, and I was really interested by development. Actually, I first started when I stumbled upon a YouTube video that taught me how to open message box, and we're going to see what's a message box. And this is where I thought I'm going to be a hacker. Well, of course, I'm not a hacker. So, can you Okay, so this is a message box. If anyone knows coding here, this is extremely simple, extremely that simple. But this was my main motivation. So from here, I learned how to do HTML, CSS, JavaScript, all the boring stuff, how to do websites. And so Hello World is usually the first exercise that you do when you learn a new technology. And this is just a normal message box. So I thought that I was extremely smart because I'm 15 and no one in class knows how to develop, of course. I even know better than my teachers, so actually I had no idea what I'm doing. And so this was a real limitation for me. I kind of think of it that my ego let me down. So because of my ego, I thought that I knew everything. I don't need to Google. I don't need to ask a person or a mentor, just like you mentioned, because I know everything. So a few months later, when I decided that I need to do my first game using the technologies that I know, which is Space Invaders. You all know Space Invaders, right?
Atari.
Yeah, so you can see you have around 50 aliens here, and I was working on the collision detection algorithm. I need to see if this bullet here is going to hit this alien or the other alien. So I made this work for the first alien, but now I have 50 other aliens, so how can I make it work? So how many of you know how to write code? Okay, great, only 4. So please forgive me for the next slide that you're going to see. So I knew that there's going to be a problem, but instead I decided to solve it by copy-pasting my code, because I know everything, and this is, this is the shit that I ended up with. So if you see if weapon hit of alien 0, then I need to destroy the alien 0. And go ahead, just copy paste this and change it 0, 1, 2, all the way to 50. Actually 49. So, and I didn't notice that there was something wrong. And my code was working on my Pentium 2, but it was never working on Pentium 4, probably because of some race conditions or whatever. A few months later, I stumbled upon another article that was talking about for loops. And using for loops, you can solve it using 5 lines of code. So this is probably not the best way to solve this issue here, but it just clarifies the issue. So when I think about it right now, I think that I've lost around a year or 2 because of, I was thinking that I was really good.
Because you started this business at 17.
Yeah, true. So right now, I know that there are a lot of things that I still need to learn, and I always try to ask people whenever I can. So I always try to Google anything, even if I accidentally built a shelf. So always try to Google wherever you stumble upon, because there are millions of people out there, and probably 100,000 of them have stumbled upon this bug or this, even FuckUp Nights, the concept, or whatever. So just go ahead and Google it. You'll probably see tons of information about it from experts and from people like us. And so the good thing is that we're not living on an island. We have the internet here, and we can search for everything. We have resources. I mean, I learned everything online, everything I know online. So you can do whatever you want online. You can learn everything because we're not living on an island. So information is literally everywhere. You just have to go ahead and search for it. And this is probably the most accurate slide.
I ran away.
Nothing was in my comfort zone when I decided to start, even public speaking. Nothing ever was in my comfort zone. So as soon as you go out of your comfort zone and you start doing these things, you're going to notice the magic's going to happen there. So I really advise you to jump in here. Thank you. Any questions?
We have the one of the 25% of the developers have a question.
And it's a development question also. Do you keep all your code?
Do I? Sorry.
Did you keep all your code?
The previous ones?
You kept it?
No, actually, I reproduced this. I wasn't able to find the game as well. I remember this because for every single functionality for the alien, I had to recopy paste the code.
One of the courses that I teach is mechatronics, and the whole point of the course is to teach students how to read data sheets. So whenever a student comes up and they ask a question, my first intuitive answer is check out the data sheet. The answer is over there. I'm not going to give you the answer. So it's always the same thing. Like whether like the answer is on Google or the answer is elsewhere, like just search for it first. If you don't find it in this, where our job comes in.
This is the first thing that I learned from my mentor. He was like, I'm not going to answer this for you. I'm going to make it easier for you for later on. Just go ahead and Google it.
I know I'm the host, but I have to say, I've been told look at the data sheet, and I didn't know where to look at. There was like a whole list of tiny little tables. I didn't know where to look at. Some people weren't born to do this, you know. Any more discussions or comments or questions? It's an open discussion kind of event. You can even add a similar story. Oh, we have a hand over here.
So you started coding at 15. What was it that made you start coding, like going against what other 15-year-olds would do?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear the whole question.
You started coding at 15, right? So what was it that made you to start coding and start doing things that other 15-year-olds don't necessarily do?
Actually, I haven't thought about it. It was just the motivation behind the video. And then when I saw that from this tiny thing, from other technologies, I could make website, I was really impressed. I think I had known that I'm going to learn this at university because my other sister, she's 10 years older than me, and she was learning these technologies at university. So I was really excited that I'm learning the same thing as she was at university.
Okay, thank you.
Just to everyone who's ever had a fuck up, why is it that we hear these stories of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and all these famous people who don't attend university and do extremely well in life?
Can I answer honestly? Okay, because university teaches us a lot. I'm not sure about all the universities. Don't want to be that straightforward. They teach us lots of outdated information. So, for example, if you want to learn HTML at school at NDU, I'm going to take my university that I'm not proud of. If you want to learn HTML, they teach you HTML4, which is now a legacy that you should never use. Of course, it's good to know HTML4, but if you go ahead and answer with HTML5, you're going to get a whole zero, and this was my case at university. This is one thing. Another thing is that if you're going to stick to the rhythm of university, it's going to take you 5 years to know just the basics, and when you go ahead and start doing your internship, you're going to realize that all of these were just a tiny introduction. So it might not be the fault of university because they can't keep up to date. So for example, Loagon, I'm going to mention Loagon because half of them are here. last year there was a very cool technology called React.js that was added. It's probably going to be added in university in 20 years from now, and the guys just added it last year because it's really cool. So they always update their contract sheet.
Sorry, what is that?
React.js. React.js. It was developed by Facebook.
All right. Thank you, Jad.
Thanks.